Hello, welcome back to 78 Reflections. My name is Patty Elaine, and today I am going to share with you my 26 decks for 2026. And I was inspired by Marlena Teresa, and she has chosen 26 Oracle decks this year. Mine is a mix, leaning a little heavier towards the tarot, but I have quite a few oracles because I will be working with them in pairs. So I'm just going to jump right in because we have 26 decks to talk about. So I am sort of doing these in sequence, but also we'll see what happens as we get into the year. But starting off here with a brand new deck to me, as soon as I heard it was being discontinued, I quickly ordered it off Amazon, because it has been on my wish list for a long time. I really love Fae energy. This is the Tarot of the Hidden Realms by Julia Jeffrey and Barbara Moore. And so I've been thinking about it for a long time, but because I had Witch Sisters, I wasn't sure if I needed both. But I decided I might. So I am pairing it with the Moon deck. And this is a deck, I don't even know who it's by, but that's what it looks like. Definitely Tarot Tube influenced me to get that one. So I really like this combination. I've been doing a lot of pairing over the last few days, trying to figure out what would go with the decks I want to work with. And conversely, if I had Oracle decks I want to work with, what would pair nicely with them. So we have here the Strength and the Six of Swords, with I am at home in my body and at peace in my spirit. The Four of Wands and the Four of Swords. There's medicine in my shadow. The Eight of Wands and the Three of Swords. I am courageous, steady, and strong. I have found this to be very powerful. I don't know about the imagery as much as I love the messaging, which is usually what I focus on. Eight of Swords and Nine of Cups. I welcome clear vision and inspired action. Queen of Pentacles and Six of Pentacles. I trust the mystery of life. Ten of Cups and Two of Swords. I am of the earth and in harmony with nature. So I really like this pairing. Should we do one more? Eight of Cups and Six of Cups. My instincts keep me adaptable in the face of any obstacle. Sounds about right. So I really like that pairing. And I'm excited to work with the Tarot of the Hidden Realms as well as the Moon deck. I just received the Tarot of the Hidden Realms, so I've not worked with it at all yet. So I know that a lot of people do Marseille in May, but my next three decks are for Marseille that I intend to do in March. And that is because I just feel like I'll have more bandwidth in March than I will in May, just due to the cycles in my work. And so for Marseille in May, I will be in March, I will be working with this Good Fortune Tarot, which is said to have Marseille influences, and I'm excited to discover that. So I thought along with that, I would work with the Squid Cake Marseille Tarot, as Marlena calls it, the Cutie Marseille, and also the Marseille Vintage Tarot, looks like that. I'll show you what the Squid Cake box looks like. I do not have the Good Fortune box handy. It's too big. So I intend on doing this as a deck study, which means I will choose one deck as the main deck, and it'll probably be this Good Fortune Tarot. And then what I will do is I will draw 3 cards, and then I'll pull the same cards from these other 2 supporting decks, and I'll do a medium dive. Not a deep dive probably, but a medium dive. And sort of discovering the Marseille influences, maybe learning a little bit more about Marseille. I don't like to do deck studies sequentially, and for that reason, I just draw 3 random cards and do it that way. Know thyself. So I think it'll be really interesting to learn more about Marseille, but in a very light way. I know that there is a Marseille study going on right now, but when I found out how long it was, I just knew that probably wasn't going to be for me. And it's also very sequential, which is also not for me. So I will do it in March, likely, and using these 3 decks. I may also get the Marseille book, although I don't really want to turn it into a deep dive, and also I'm on a low buy, so I might try not to do that. So those are the next 3 decks that I plan to work with. Coming up next, we have the Crow Tarot, which is, oops, sorry for bumping that, an MJ Colony deck. That I have worked with a little, but not a lot, and I'm excited to work more with it. And pairing with the Crow Tarot, I have the Lantern Oracle. Sorry, the Crow Tarot, pairing with the Crow Tarot, the Lantern Oracle. I love this Lantern Oracle, and I have not worked with it nearly enough. And I was actually really delighted to see how these pair together. So we have the Ace of Wands and the Four of Swords with intention, lacking personal direction, begets confusion, and life as a pawn to someone else's game of chess. Oof. Next we have the Seven of Swords and the King of Pentacles with radical honesty. That sounds about right. And then we have the Eight of Pentacles and the Star with the Spirit Self. Be who you are as you are. I think that's great when you combine the Eight of Pentacles, which is kind of achievement oriented, with the Star, which is more quietude. The Seven of Cups and the Knight of Pentacles in misalignment. The Queen of Pentacles and the Queen of Swords with Weeping Wound. Ooh, are 2 powerful queens, yes. They do have wounds, but it's an important reminder. We are not our wounds. And the Ace of Pentacles and the Three of Pentacles with strength of vulnerability. And one more. The Knight of Cups and the Two of Wands with accountability. I think it's a beautiful combination. What do you think about that? This one was a case of wanting to work with the Oracle deck and then trying to find a tarot that paired with it nicely, which I think I succeeded in. So moving swiftly forward, nobody will probably be surprised to see the Shadowland Tarot showing up here. So the Shadowland Tarot is bonded with the Wild Unknown. And so I don't love to pair tarot with tarot, but I make an exception for Shadowland because this is the deck it wants to be paired with. So Four of Wands with Temperance and the Star in the middle. I think with the Wild Unknown too, it's really easy to more lean into a keyword as opposed to the actual tarot card. The Seven of Cups and the Magician with the Two of Wands. The King of Swords and the Star with that spark from the Ace of Wands. The Tower and the Ace of Swords with that line of pentacles. Diagonal, that was the word I was looking for, diagonal. The Chariot and the Hierophant with the Mother of Wands. Strength And the Four of Swords with the Father of Cups. Oh, that calm harbor in the middle of strength and the Four of Swords. Last one, Eight of Cups and the Queen of Wands with the Son of Swords. One of my favorite cards in the deck. I just love his, you know, focus. So that is the next pairing. Moving along, this will probably be about May, I'm thinking. I usually like to spend about 3 weeks with a deck or a pairing of decks. It's about the right amount of time for me, but also not scheduling it out. I'm sort of going with when I'm ready to move on, with the exception of the Marseille, because I'm going to do it as a deck study, 3 cards per day till I work through the deck. But other than that, we'll see. I might work with some longer and others for less long. This is an interesting pairing. So I just got this tarot deck, BoneStone and Earth Flesh Tarot by Avalon Cameron and Anna Turian. Beautiful. And then this is the Rooted Woman Oracle. I got that last spring and I hardly ever worked with it. Some of the cards bamboozle me. So we have the Ten of Wands and the Star with the Labyrinth. Whoa. I like the light on the Star card sort of bouncing towards the light of her lantern. Seven of Wands, the Page of Pentacles, and the Call. This guy looks like he's gotten a call, doesn't he? The Strength card and the Three of Wands. I love the hot air balloon for the Three of Wands with the meadow. And I like the colors. I don't know that the imagery matches perfectly, but I think the colors are complementary. The Bruxa and the Knight of Cups with Sovereignty, the power of the land. Yes. One more. Three of Swords, the Charred Heart with the Ace of Cups, and Strength and Endurance. Well, yes. Yes to strength and endurance with the Three of Swords and the Ace of Cups. So next, going into probably summer solstice time, I will be working with the Earth Woman Tarot and the Spiritual Meaning of Birds. So here we have the Spiritual Meaning of Birds. I'll show you what that box looks like. These are all mass market decks. And my beloved Earth Woman Tarot. So here we have the Magician and the Six of Swords with the Sandpiper. Balance, quickness, looking below the surface. The Ace of Swords with the Ten of Pentacles with the Quail. Fertility, caution, tenacity. The Queen of Swords and the Five of Swords with the Wren. Courage, strength, balance. That seems about right, especially with the, well, both the Five of Swords and the Queen of Swords, I think, speak to that courage piece. The Hierophant and the Lovers, planning, transition, commitment. I don't really think of the Lovers card as relationship, but commitment works. The Sun and the Eight of Pentacles with the Cowbird. Relationships, acknowledgement, redefinition. Last one. The Seven of Cups and the King of Pentacles with the Swan. Transformation, dreams, and illusion. Love that combination. So next, we have, coming into July, the Tarot Landscapes. This is a deck that I purchased and really have not worked with, almost not at all. And I would like to give it a go. So chose it for one of my 26 decks for 26. And here you can see the cardstock is bowed. And why not pair it with a deck whose cardstock is also bowed? The Green Witch Oracle. I like both of these decks. I hate both of these decks' cardstock, but let's just take a look at this pairing. So we have the Chariot and the Nine of Wands with buds, new beginnings and expansion. The Knight of Wands and Temperance with leaves, renewal, revival, progress. Yep. Wheel of Fortune and the Five of Pentacles with preserve, security, forethought, thrift. I love this security along with the Five of Pentacles. Judgment and the Hierophant, tend, maintenance, encouragement, and guidance. Wonderful. I am really enjoying these pairings that I chose. Moving into August, last year I purchased the Alice deck. This is the Llewellyn one. The Alice in Wonderland. I think it's Tarot in Wonderland, if I'm remembering correctly. Do not have the box here. Love Llewellyn decks, hate Llewellyn boxes, don't keep them. And I will be working with this Alice Wonderland Oracle, which is so darling. So here we have the High Priestess and the Four of Swords with Painting the Roses Red. One of my favorite cards in that deck. Ace of Cups and Ten of Cups with Follow Your Own Good Advice. The Page of Cups and the Two of Pentacles with Nonsense. It's kind of funny with the Page of Cups. And the Two of Pentacles, frankly. The Ten of Swords and the Knight of Cups with Wake Up. Indeed, wake up. The Eight of Wands and the Ace of Wands with Becoming Braver. The Emperor and the Nine of Wands with We're All Mad Here. I like this combination. The Justice card with the Seven of Cups and Falling. Yeah, that can be, both of those cards, the Justice card and the Seven of Cups, can both be a bit destabilizing for sure. Nine of Pentacles and the Queen of Pentacles, Manage to be Glad. Well, yes. Yes, indeed. So these were decks I got myself for my birthday this year. My birthday's in August. I'm a Leo, and I plan to work with those cards once again in August. Moving to September, last year, the Tempest Tarot won over my heart. Absolutely love this deck, and I will be working with it again in probably towards the end of August and the beginning of September. And what I've decided to pair it with, I cannot recall what I paired it with last year, but what I've decided to pair it with is the Sacred Destiny Oracle. Let's just lower that. So we have the Four of Swords and the Nine of Cups with Fulfillment. We have the Four of Wands and the Page of Wands with Healing Chaos. The Nine of Wands and the Knight of Swords with Flexibility. I do think the Nine of Wands is a period of time when flexibility is important. We have the Chariot and the Knight of Wands with the Gateway. I like how this guy is looking towards that scene. And we have seahorses and a unicorn. Maybe they're going to be friends. We have the Moon and the Queen of Swords with New Beginnings. Now for kind of the latter part of September and the beginning part of October, I'm thinking that I would like to work with the Steampunk Tarot. And I do not have a pairing for it, But I have been longing for, and I have on my wish list, the Alice in Wonderland Oracle that is like a steampunk version. And this is a pairing that Don Michelle used that I have on my wish list. So I am thinking that I might purchase that deck to pair with this. I'm going to wait and see how I feel when the time comes around. Also see how I stay on track with this plan. Who knows? I'm not fond of rules, even when I make them myself. But this deck is a deck that I have been wanting to spend more time with. And so I thought that that might be a good time to do it. And then, of course, going towards the Day of the Dead, I will be working with my Muerte Tarot. Oh, but before then, I guess, have one deck before that. And that is Deviant Moon. So I thought the Deviant Moon would be, if I work with the steampunk sort of the end of August or end of September, beginning of October, then in October, I can move to the steampunk or the Deviant Moon, too many decks, and the Lost Oracle. I absolutely love this pairing. I could definitely do this pairing for the PB&J video. So we have the Two of Cups, the Star, and the Chalice of Clarity. So let's hope they are Chalice of Clarity. The Queen of Cups and the Page of Swords, Under Siege. The Knight of Cups and the... Is that the Eight of Wands or the Eight of Swords? I think it's Wands. Ancestral... not sure. Ancestral Alchemy. The Empress and the Page of Wands for the House of Love. One more. Two of Pentacles and the Wheel of Fortune for Disenchant. You are protected. Wow. Very cool. Okay, so that brings us to the Day of the Dead and the Muerte Tarot. Now this year, my plan is to pair the Muerte Tarot with another Oracle deck that Racine actually influenced me to buy, and I haven't really used it a whole lot yet. I've used it a bit with my ancestry work, but I want to use it more. It's the Magic of You Oracle by Fiona Horn. I struggle a little bit with how dark the images are, but I think it actually pairs quite nicely with Muerte Tarot. So we have here the Five of Wands and the Sun with compassion for others. The Lovers and the Ten of Swords, pause in your journey. The Six of Wands and the Four of Wands, vertigo. Whatever you choose will be correct. The Hanged Man and the Page of Pentacles with commune with the source. Oh. The Justice card and the Hierophant for honor yourself. Love that. And the Ten of Pentacles with the Hermit and you belong to paradise. So I think it's good. Ten of Wands with the Seven of Pentacles for there is a solution for every problem. Is that the Seven of Pentacles? Yeah. So that's an interesting combo. So we are down to our last two cards, 25th and 26th decks. And this will be for December. And I almost worked with this deck this year in December, but I decided to work with the Green Witch. This is the Star Tarot. And there's a bit of Thoth in this deck, and I may purchase a Thoth deck to go along with it, or I may not. But this is going to be an interesting pairing given the timing, I think. But tell me what you think. The Earth and Bone Oracle. So let's just give this a look. So we have the Prince of Wands, Death, and Conjurer. Higher self, fertility, and creativity. The King of Swords and the Hermit withstand. Courage, determination, fearlessness. Nine of Swords and Judgment with prosperity. Wealth, contentment, abundance. The Eight of Swords and the Moon with stoicism. Peacefulness, deceptiveness, and manifestation. Woo. And last but not least, the Three of Pentacles and Justice with the Wayfarer. Contemplation, search for truth, and inner guidance. So those are the 26 decks I intend on working with in 2026. And the idea is to use the cards, use the decks I have, rather than acquiring new decks. And so that is my greatest wish for 2026. And I'm okay with purchasing a couple, but I really want to use the ones I have. And my plan for the other decks I have on my tarot shelf that are not part of this 26, I've put them into one of those wheels, and my intention is every Wednesday, Wildcard Wednesday. I'm going to spin the wheel and use a different deck on Wednesdays every week. So hopefully I will have a great year of enjoying all this bounty of tarot that I already have, and because I have this plan laid out, I think I'm way less likely to want to purchase something. So if I purchase something, when is it going to fit in? What am I going to bump? So this is a full agenda for 2026. So thank you for being with me today. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have plans for buying less and using your current collection more, I'd love to hear what your plans are. And I look forward to seeing you in the next video. And until then, may our cards give us truth bombs when we need them and gentleness when we don't. See you next time.